A very good morning, students. I hope you all are fine. So, children, in our previous video, we discussed about the two questions that were asked in our chapter. One was what, and another was where. So, let's continue with the next topic of our chapter, that is names of the land. Now, children, you tell me, where do you get your names from? Definitely you will say that my parents gave me that name. So what do you think ki the name of our country India, where did it get it from? Does it have any parents to give name? Definitely not. So children, you'll be surprised that our country India, it is known by two names. Like we people have two names, one is our school name and another is our nickname. In the same manner, India also has two names. One is India and another one is Bharat. So in this topic, we will see how India got its name. So first of all, discussing about India. So children, the word India comes from the word Indus, which is called Sindhu in Sanskrit. I repeat, the word India comes from the name of river Indus, which means Sindhu in Sanskrit. Now you may be wondering how India got its name from Indus River. So students, the Iranians and the Greek people, the people who lived in Iran and Greece, they both all together traveled to our country, and on the way they passed through river Indus. So before coming to India, they got familiar to river Indus. India में आने से पहले they met river Indus. They were familiar to river Indus. So when they turned to India, when they came India, they called it Hindus. Later on, they started calling it Indus, and slowly and gradually, with the passage of time, that Indus also got converted into India. So land to the east of Indus river के east hand side पे whatever the area was there, that means our country, it was named as India. Then what about Bharat? How did the word Bharat comes from? So children, the name Bharat was used for the people, for the group of people who lived in the northwest, and it was mentioned in Rig Veda 3500 years ago. So this was used for the people of northwest. The people of the northwest were called by this name, and later on it was used for the entire country. So this is the story how our country India got its name. Then moving on to the next topic, children, that is finding out about the past. Now in the previous topics we discussed ki we should study history for this, we should see the things, we should find out new things, and we saw how people, wherever people lived, what were the various areas people were living. Apart from all these, there are various sources from which we get information about. The question that arises is ki from where do we get to know about all this history thing that is written in our books. So children, in our next topic we are going to study about all those sources from which we get to know about our past. So let's start. Okay, so students, starting with the very first one. The very first source of history are your manuscripts. I repeat, manuscripts. Now, have you all ever heard this word before? Okay, no worries, I'll tell you. So students, manuscripts were the books which were written long years ago. And these books were very special because these were the books which were written by hands. The word manu in manuscript, it is a Latin word which means hand. So manuscripts were the books which were written by hands long years ago. Because students, at that time, like today, we all know how to read and write. At that time, not all people knew how to read and write. only a few of them knew that, and whosoever knew how to read and write at that time, papers and pens were also not there. So just to write down the information, the people who could write, they started writing books with their hands, because there were no printing machines to print out the books. Now they were written on palm leaves. As I told you, no papers were there, so these people, they used to write down the information on leaves or on the specially prepared bark of the tree, which was known as birch, and it grows in Himalayas only. All of you, look here in the picture. This is the picture of the tree from which we get the bark, which is known as birch. So these manuscripts were written on those leaves. So now I told you कि things were written on this, information was written on this. Now what do you think? Does these manuscripts still exist? Does all of them still exist? So students, among all the manuscripts that was written, a few of them are still there. But what happened to those which are not there? So the insects which were present in that time, they have eaten away all the manuscripts. So वो जो insects थे, they have eaten all the manuscripts, and we do not get the information about that period which was written in those manuscripts. So we have information from only those which are available with us. Now if I ask you, what do you think what these people used to write on those manuscripts? क्या लिखते होंगे manuscripts पे? Rather, क्या ऐसा बोल सकते हैं, they would be making drawings or something like that? Definitely not, children. These manuscripts, it dealt with all the kinds of subjects. It had so much important information regarding the religious beliefs and practices of that time, what beliefs people have, what religious cultures they followed. Then it had knowledge about the lives of the king, कि उस time में kings, how they used to live, what were their lives, what were their living conditions, what were their way of ruling. Then the various medicines and science of that time. उस time में भी तो medicines होती होंगी if some disease were there. So all these things were written on the manuscripts. And what about the language they were written in, children? क्या वो English में लिखी गई थी या हिंदी में? Definitely not, children. These languages were not there at that time. At that time, these manuscripts were written in Sanskrit, Prakrit or Tamil language. Sanskrit was the language of the people who were educated. Prakrit was the language, the local language of the people, and Tamil was language which was used by the people of south areas. So these manuscripts were written in different languages which are not understandable to us. Like you see in the picture on your screen, can you read out what is written on this manuscript? Definitely not. That is due to the difference in language. So this was the first source. Then coming to the second source, children, that is inscriptions. Now what would be inscriptions? So inscriptions are the writings which were engraved on some hard surfaces like stone or metal. Like manuscripts were written on palm leaves, on bark of trees which were eatable by the insects and destroyed. So later on, the people, they started writing the information, they started engraving the information on stones which were not at all destroyable, which were not destroyed by anyone. So the question here also remains the same. What were written on these inscriptions? So on these inscriptions, the people, they used to write down the king's orders. जो king होते थे, they used to engrave their orders on these stones so that it remains for long years, and everybody in the coming generations follow the order of the king. Then it contained information on the life of the people. How was the life of the people? How they used to live? What was their living conditions, eating habits, clothing habits, and such more. Then there were information about the victories of the battles also, which war was won by whom, किस king ने किस land को win किया, and so many other informations. And apart, unlike manuscripts, these inscriptions were undestroyable and they lasted for many years. Then apart from these inscriptions and manuscripts, children, there were also other sources. Now you would have noticed कि ये जो manuscripts और inscriptions हैं, it contained information about the lives of kings only, about the religious practices only, but it never discussed about how the common people used to live, what these common people used to do. तो हमें इनके बारे में कैसे पता चलेगा? So for finding out the information of these common people, we have other sources like remains of buildings, various paintings, various tools, weapons, pots, ornaments, coins, etc. So whatever the areas they used to live were, they were looked out. The various things that we find out in those places, they were studied on. तो अब इनके ऊपर स्टडी किसने करी? सो द पीपल हु स्टडीड दीज थिंग्स, हु स्टडीड the material which was available at these historical sites, the people who study these objects are known as archaeologists, or we also call them the detectives of the past. So archaeologists are someone who study the remains, who study these sources of history. They explore the areas, they explore the things they find on the surface of the earth, then they study it in detail, they try to connect it with the history and give you the information that we are studying today. And moreover, they also excavate the land, they also dig the land to find out various things, like while exploring an area, if they find out some bones of animals, they find out some ornaments, they find out coins, so this would give us a knowledge ki what kind of ornaments were worn by the people at that time, what kind of things they used to use, what were their coins, how did it look like, kya wo hamare coins jaise the. So everything is studied and a proper information is provided to us. Okay, now coming to the next topic, that is one past or many. Now what does this means? So children, have you noticed the name of your history book? What is the name of your book? Quickly check it. Yes, it says our pasts, not past. Do you see? It is a plural form. But how can past be plural? Let me tell you. So now students, the way the kings live and the way the early human beings used to live, both of them are so different from each other. So the past of the king cannot be as same as the past of common people. In the same manner, the past of common people cannot be same as that of the king. So past is different for the different groups of people, like the life of a king and a life of a common man or say a farmer is different from one another. That is why we do not say past, we say its plural form, that is past. And this idea, children, continues even today. Let's see this with the help of an example. Today, most of the people are living in Andaman and Nicobar Island. They get their own food by fishing, hunting and collecting forest produce. But just opposite to this, most of the people are living in cities and they depend upon the supply of food in the market. So such differences also existed in the past, which made the past a plural form, made it different from one another. Everybody has their own past. Clear to all of you? Okay, now coming to the last but the most important and the interesting topic of your chapter, that is, what do dates mean? Chalo, you tell me, what is the date today? You'll say that, ma'am, everybody knows what is the date today. And what about the year going on? Which year is going on? 2021. But children, where does this year comes from? क्या ऐसे ही we started counting the year? Just like this, we started one day, somebody thought of giving the names to the year, and he started counting from 2000. ऐसा हो सकता है? Definitely not. So children, this year that we are using today, these years were assigned to the birth of Jesus Christ. Do you know who was Jesus Christ? Yes, he was the founder of Christianity. So children, on the basis of his birth date, these years were assigned. For example, you all pay attention on the screen. You see this big black cloud? This is the symbol of the birth of Jesus Christ. It is the time when Jesus Christ was born. So now children, all the things which happened before the birth of the Christ, that means Jesus Christ के birth से पहले का जो भी time था, it is called by BC, which stands for before Christ. Christ के birth से पहले whatever the time was, it is known as BC. And if I talk about after, whatever the things came after the birth of Christ, it is denoted by AD, Anno Domini. Is it clear to you? Before the birth of Christ, BC, and after the birth of Christ, it is shown as AD, Anno Domini. So if I ask you that 200 BC, what would that mean? So will you say कि that means 200 years back? Definitely not. Let's understand this, how to calculate it with the help of a number line. I hope you all have done number line in maths. Okay, so look on the screen. Number line you see on your screen. So children, this 0 on the number line is the symbol of the birth of Jesus Christ. So just as on the number line, 0 के right hand side पे everything is positive and negative side पे everything is, on the left hand side everything is negative. So same way, 0 denotes the birth of Jesus Christ. So on its right hand side everything is positive, just like the years. So which year is going on? 2021. और वहीं on the left hand side it will be negative. So it will go like 100, 200, 300, 400 and so on. So if I talk about 200 BC children, तो हम ये नहीं बोल सकते कि it is 200 years back. Definitely not. तो after का मतलब 2021 years after the birth of Christ plus 200 years more. So 200 BC means 2221 years. Is it clear to you all? Listen to it once again. 200 BC just does not means 200 years back, but it means 2021 years after the birth of Christ and 200 years before that. So in total it means 2221 years back. And one thing more children, this AD, Anno Domini, is also denoted by another name, that is CE, which stands for Common Era, and BC, before Christ, is denoted by BCE, which means before Common Era. I hope you all have understood the entire chapter and you enjoyed it well.